I Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday, y'all. It's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. Don't know how it's looking where you are, but it is gorgeous here. It is a beautiful, blessed day for me and my family. Today is my mommy's birthday, honey. I'm not gonna tell her age because she listens to these court shows and she ain't finna slap me. I ain't finna tell y'all she ain't finna slap me. Just know that she's blessed, okay? And we're gonna be celebrating her today and tomorrow. So I'm gonna get this little live in right quick. Try. I can't holler your name like you be hollering mine. Trey. 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 Hello. Hello.
I said, what? What you wrote?
He come up on mute. But anywho, let me see.
What? Why can't you hear me?
Oh, I hear you now. I hear you now. I hear you now.
I've been talking. You got a virus.
My device is really, really delayed. It's really delayed, Trey. I think I'm gonna have to switch up my
You got the
settings.
helmet head serious, huh?
See, you know what? This is what we're not gonna do. This is what we're not gonna do. But yeah, so happy Saturday to everybody. I hope everybody having a blessed, beautiful day. Thanks to everyone who supported the live last night, this morning, last night / this morning, the Cinco de Mayo live. Thank y'all so much for supporting. We had a good time. We had a good time, y'all. We had a good time. And make sure y'all go and check out Trey spilled some tea this morning. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. So y'all go over there to Moneyboy Trey 2. Somebody drop Moneyboy Trey 2 link in the chat. Okay. Y'all be sure if y'all not subscribed to that channel, y'all please go over there and hit the subscription button. Check out that tea he dropped this morning. All cute and then drop the mic. You know what I'm saying? Go check that out. Raina dropped the video this morning. Shout out to Raina. Who's at the hair salon right now getting all dolled up for the 227 honey. Y'all go and check that out. And also y'all go over there and check out Local Libra's interview on last night. Okay. Go over there and check that interview out that Local Libra did with the beautiful Coco B. Check that out. Run those views up. Hit that like button. Cause your girl gonna be reacting to that tonight. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I may be dead dog tired when I get in, but actually I'm gonna be on location. I'm not gonna be, But anywho, I'm coming. Coming with the reaction, okay? Let me see what else I wanted to say before we got started. Because I really got to get started because I really got to get finished. I only have like an hour and a half. I'll be pushing it with 2, but we'll see how that goes. Okay? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Okay, no problem, Slay. You needed your rest, girl. You needed your rest. Okay? So y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Good morning, Miss Chloe. Good morning, E. Brooks, Reggie. Good morning to all of y'all. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Let me see if there's anybody else in the chat that I missed. Because, I can do roll call on these chats, honey, because it ain't so many people. It's okay. It's a small, intimate crowd. We love it. Good morning, Sirius. Good morning. It's a wrap. Good morning, Miss Tina, Miss Margie, Naya. Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody in the bushes. Let's get it started, y'all. We are going to continue today's testimony with Miss Laura Rutland. Now,
True. It's Sunday and all the old folks is at church.
It's not Sunday. This is Saturday. Sir.
It's not. You know what? Let me just go back on mute. My days is
off. You need to, sir. You need to get yourself together.
I had a good Cinco de Mayo, apparently.
Apparently. Good morning, San Gio. Thanks for dropping that link, Ebru. Lord have mercy. Y'all see Trey trying to call himself, calling me out. Ooh, child. Thanks, San Gio. I would tell her. Okay, don't be surprised if I pop up live, honey, with Mama Truth in the background, honey. She gonna be partying, living her best life today, honey. Okay, right, Bruce. Go on mute, Trey. The word of the day is mute, honey. All right, y'all. Let's get into it. So, I think today Miss Laura's testimony is gonna end. I think she's pretty much done. We're gonna listen to the end of that, and then we're gonna get into the next witness. And I do need to put those images up. I forgot, but I'll do it. Okay. So yeah, here we go, y'all. Let's get it started. Thank you for supporting. Hit the like button and also feel free to hit the Cash App and support your girl. Got a feeling my mama gonna break me today, but it's okay. It's all right. It's all right. Let me get the volume.
Because the SLED crime scene unit, I was present while they were processing the scene and executing the search warrant.
And so there are 2 ways that law enforcement can get access to property. One is through a search warrant and one's by consent. Is that right?
That's correct.
Are you aware that Mr. Murdaugh gave SLED, Colleton County, any law enforcement, FBI, carte blanche consent to search his property?
That wasn't relayed to me. I was tasked with getting a search warrant, so I did.
Okay, and once a search warrant is executed, a return is filed with the magistrate who issued it, right?
That's correct.
And you never filed a return on that search warrant, right?
Do you have, like I said, it was given to SLED, so.
So we'll find out more about that. But to your knowledge, you didn't file a return, that's all you can say, right?
I don't recall, I have to check my notes.
You heard on the tape, you heard Mr. Murdaugh say you can do anything, look for anything. Do you remember him just giving consent to whatever you need?
As far as, speaking with him, yes, I remember him saying that.
Okay. And you walked back through the crime scene one last time before you cleared the area on the morning of the 8th, is that right?
You could say that. We were walking around the whole night and staying out of the way of the crime scene unit.
Were you there after the crime scene unit left?
No, I was not. They were still processing when I left.
Do you know whether or not the crime scene unit left shotgun pellets behind in the feed room?
I have no knowledge of any of that.
20, 30, even more shotgun pellets left behind in the feed room. Were you aware of that?
Objection sustained.
On Thursday, June 10th, 2 days, 3 days. Thursday, June the 10th. You went with SLED, a number of SLED agents and law enforcement agents went to meet with Mr. Murdaugh, Mr. Murdaugh's brothers, Randy and John Marvin, Mr. Murdaugh's son, and they all agreed to meet, and y'all found a location outside of Barnville, I believe. Do you remember doing that?
I do. I remember doing that.
And that was.
Thank you, Naya. Thank you, sweetheart. I will surely take care of that for you. And thank you for wishing my beautiful mama a happy birthday, girl. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
During that, I believe you and a SLED agent interviewed Mr. Randy Murdaugh, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Randy Murdaugh agreed to allow the download of his cell phone, correct?
That's correct.
And gave consent, right?
He did.
And Mr. Alec Murdaugh, to your knowledge, gave consent to download his cell phone, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
And Mr. John Marvin Murdaugh did the same, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Buster Murdaugh did the same, correct?
He did.
And everyone gave a voluntary interview that day, to your knowledge, right?
They did.
And then a little bit later, on the Wednesday, June 16th, you assisted SLED when they went out to the Moselle property and went diving, searching for.
Thank you, it's around. Thank you, sweetie. I'll let her
Let
know.
me ask you, when you assisted SLED dive team, or did you assist SLED dive team on June 16th, 2021?
I did.
And with a search of the Moselle property, focusing on waterways, ponds, and Salkehatchie River access points for evidence from the crime, correct?
That's correct.
Were you looking for the firearms that were used to murder Maggie and Paul?
We were looking for anything that could have been linked to their murders.
And then you utilized ATVs and canvassed the entire 1,700 acres of land.
I did. That was my assignment that day.
And once again, that was done with consent by Mr. Murdaugh, correct?
That is correct.
And then went back the next day and dug another pond on the property. You remember doing that?
I didn't dive, but I was standing by, yes.
You were there?
Yes,
And again, that was with consent, right?
correct.
And then you were given consent and you did a search of a white F-250 pickup that Paul normally drove, right?
That is correct.
Good morning, come correct. Hey, Miss
And
Linda.
while you were there, Mr. Davis shows up, and Mr. Davis, you understood to be the caretaker for the dogs, right?
Yes, that's what he explained his job title was at Moselle.
And that, did you observe him doing his work that day?
I did.
Did you watch him wash down the dog runs?
I don't remember that part.
But you were able to look at his tire marks and make an assessment as to whether they appeared to match the tire marks that were seen under the shed portion next to the old airplane hangar, right?
That's correct. He parks under the canopy next to the UTV.
And then on Friday, June the 18th, you had a meeting and you looked at some photos, I believe crime scene photos and autopsy photos of SLED, correct?
I did.
And you made a mental note and you put it in your record that you noticed a few strands of what appeared to be brown hair, unable to determine the length from the photo in Maggie's hands and fingers, right?
That is correct.
And you thought that possibly was indication of a struggle, that Maggie had grabbed someone, had their hair in her hands, right?
I didn't say that in my report, no.
Well, so why did you note it in your report?
Because it was an observation.
Well, you also noticed in your report that there were some injuries, what appeared to be to Paul's face, that like he had been some type of struggle, right?
I noted what to me could have been scratches or a bruise on his cheek.
And we heard some testimony yesterday about a bolo on the lookout for a white pickup that Paul normally drives. That pickup was found the next morning, correct?
That's correct. It was broken down.
Yeah, and you learned through your investigation that Paul had switched vehicles with his uncle John Marvin, and John Marvin was rushing to Moselle when he got the phone call in Paul's truck, and it broke down the side of the road.
Yeah, that's correct. It was I believe Mr. Randolph struggled to get in and out of the truck.
Good morning, Nikki.
Did Colleton County Sheriff's Office put out a statement to the press on the morning of June the 8th that there's no need to public to be alarmed?
I don't believe that came from our
Good
office.
morning, Miss Carla. Now they're gonna get into the statement that the police had put out that next day saying, you know, pretty much that there was no need for alarm. It was an isolated incident at the Moselle property, and he's gonna get into whether or not the cops determined that night if Alex was a suspect. All right.
This did not come through CID for approval. I never seen that press release.
So what was Alec Murdoch, your assistant SLED, night of June the 7th, morning June the 8th, was Alec Murdoch a suspect?
That night, everybody was a suspect.
Everybody? Can you be more specific? Who else were suspects besides?
Well, there was reasons we were asking certain questions. Who his best friend is, who, you know, their routine each day. There were so many different scenarios it could have been that night. So in my view, everybody was a suspect at that point.
Including Alec?
Including Alec.
I mean, he's a lawyer, and I know he's doing his job, but I know he knows that when it's a murder in the family, you know, unless it's just something that's outright obvious that it's an outside person, the the person's closest to the family, not only the person closest to the family, but the person that finds the body or bodies are always a suspect. I mean, he should have known that night he was a suspect, and I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Objection.
For what, sir?
I just, Dick ain't doing it, so I just felt like somebody needed to object.
No, ain't no need, because she's right. Like, in that particular situation, he would be the prime suspect. Him and Buster. And Buster wasn't around, but I mean, I'm just saying they the closest to the Paul and Maggie. He should have known.
When you gonna squeeze that other interrogation video in?
I'll probably do that tomorrow morning if I wake
That's
up on
important, I
time.
think.
Yeah, it is.
You know
I'm
what?
probably,
What stood out to me with that? They're interviewing this man thinking he could be a potential murderer, and they just sitting in the car with him all willy nilly. That was so unprofessional, in my
well,
opinion.
maybe okay. Did you determine whether that was before or after the one I already covered?
That's the first one because that's the one that
Yeah, it would have been
got,
that
yeah,
day. It
that
would
was
have.
the first one.
That's not to me, honestly, because I watched this show called Cold Case Files, and they used to like interview people in their cars because they was like on location, like they would go to small towns where there was unsolved murders or whatever. So they worked out of an office, but they also traveled a lot. So they would like interview people in their car and record it and stuff like that. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with it being a little informal for the first interview. But you notice when they did that one I reacted to, they were sitting up in that damn police station. But yeah, I'm glad you reminded me, Trey. We're gonna get into that tomorrow.
That David court's indulgence to consult with her.
The lawyers are talking, y'all. Dick and his team is just, to me, I honestly, and they say he's a high-powered attorney. Costs a lot of money. I don't see how.
Oh, yeah. Do we have the exhibit number to send evidence before we play it? That would be pretty. Your Honor, we're going to play a portion of Exhibit 1. We need to cover our screens. It is a portion of sensitive matter. Can you see that, Ms. Rutland?
I can, yes, sir.
Okay, let's just stop right there. You see how far that sheet is on either side of Paul's body there?
At this point in time, yes, I see how it looks.
Is that roughly how far it was across Paul's body when you got there?
No, because I could see the top of his head.
Well, I'm talking about the width of his body. Was it that far across?
I don't recall how it was because I could see parts of his body, but it was still on him.
Okay. Will you go ahead and play that? Did you notice any footprints of the agent there inside the counter?
No, I believe he's standing on
In the food room?
in the feed room.
Right.
No. But It was, starting to rain.
Okay, stop right there, please. Can you back it up just 5 seconds? We're gonna play it right there. As soon as it goes down, a little bit further. All right, please stop. Was that how far across the sheet was when you observed Paul's body?
I don't remember. Like I said, when I got there, there was SLED agents as well as deputies standing around the scene, and I wasn't sure what had happened before I got there. I don't recall how the sheet was.
Well, was the sheet on Paul's body the entire time you were walking the crime scene?
No, eventually it was removed when the crime scene unit was ready to process his body.
And I just want to clear up, when you said Alec was wearing khakis, were you referring to shorts or long pants?
Shorts.
Good morning, Miss Tia. Serious, I think I spoke to you, sweetie. Good morning.
Is this from the video from the interview? Your Honor, we're going to publish a small portion of the video in the car, which is their last exhibit. Well, excuse me, that's from number 1. Those are the shorts he was wearing?
Yes.
Are those khakis or green?
Khaki style, green.
Okay, all right. That's all, you can take it down. That's all the questions we have, Your Honor.
And redirect.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Griffin asked you about some things you did after.
So she's being questioned again by the prosecutor. They're redirecting, so she's being questioned again by the prosecutor right quick.
Interview the following days,
He did.
and you had mentioned a search warrant was executed. Were you working with SLED after June 8th? He's asked you about them. And did you work with them in executing search warrants,
I did.
specifically on June 9? And who were you working with?
Special Agent Owen.
And I think Mr. Griffin asked you, there was a truck on the side of the road and went back to her brother, John Marvin.
That's correct.
So that was the white truck that
Yes.
was on the side of the road?
Yes.
And who did it belong to?
John Marvin.
Okay, and that was off the property of the sale?
That's correct.
So that has nothing to do with this case as far as suspect and this killing, does it?
No, it did not. We processed to rule it out.
What was that last thing?
We processed it to rule it out.
And he asked you about meeting with these folks and then talking to you. You were working with SLED doing that one.
I was.
SLED was investigating this case.
Yes.
Getting swabs. Getting swabs from folks? In general,
Yeah.
getting swabs?
I was present when swabs were taken, yes.
I'm
Mhm.
not trying to say
Yeah.
you took them. I'm just
No,
following up on his
That's
question.
correct, yeah.
Were you present when interviews were taken?
I was present, yes.
And who was leading those interviews?
SLED,
Who was in charge?
SLED.
Were they investigating?
They were investigating.
Did you assist SLED with the initial timeline on phone calls?
I did.
On June 12th, did you assist SLED in removing an internal computer black box of a Chevy Suburban?
I did by standing by.
On June 14th, did you assist SLED in obtaining a search warrant for Maggie Murdall's Mercedes?
I did.
Was Lieutenant Kent in charge of that?
He was.
Was SLED investigating?
SLED was investigating.
Was that what's referred to as the blue box?
Black box, I
Black
believe.
box? Okay,
Yes.
sorry.
Mhm.
Were you with SLED when Maggie Murdall's Mercedes was towed?
I was.
Did y'all have a search warrant for that?
We did.
I think he asked you, were you with SLED when ponds were searched in the area?
I was.
That's June 16th, would you dispute that, 2021?
No, that's correct.
And I think Mr. Griffin asked you about a truck that a Mr. Davis was driving out of the shed. Were you able to confirm that the tire tracks in the shed were his?
I did by looking at him.
By looking at them?
Yes. Mhm.
And I think Mr. Griffin asked you, did Mr. Davis say he was in and out of there a couple times a day?
Twice a day, yes.
So those tracks inside the shelter were whose?
The dog caretaker, Mr. Davis.
And I think he asked you about water. Just remind you, the night you were there, did you see water around the bodies?
I did.
He asked you about some injuries, I think, that you had noted in your report. How did Paul fall?
Face down at an angle outside the feed room
On what?
on his hands and arms.
But his face hit what?
The gravel.
Mr. Griffin asked you about how many times the defendant, Richard Alexander Murdaugh, had mentioned or turned his son Paul's body on page 2 of the transcript or towards the front.
Thank you, Miss
Actually, I think I
Gloria.
tried to turn Paul over
Y'all
first.
please hit the like button and also feel free to hit the cash app. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Gloria.
You remember him saying that?
Yes.
You know, I tried to turn him over and I don't know, I figured it out.
Yes.
And his cell phone popped out
Correct.
and I tried to do something
Mm-hmm.
thinking maybe, but then I put it back down.
Correct.
For his words, I think I tried to turn him over.
Yes.
And later on, I tried to turn him and then I tried to check him.
Correct.
I tried to turn him.
Correct.
He asked you about the sheet on the body. Did you see the front of the top of Paul's head?
I did.
And he asked you about the sheet over that body. I want to ask you about a sheet. When you saw Richard Alexander Murdaugh, did he have a sheet over him?
He did not.
Could you see his face, his hands, his body, his pants, and his shirt?
I could.
Did he look like somebody who had just changed his clothes?
Yes.
Objection, Your Honor.
Basis for the objection.
No basis for that opinion.
Response, Mr. Meadows.
I couldn't hear what he said.
No basis for that opinion.
Did those clothes appear to be fresh,
They did.
like they just come out of the laundry?
It could be.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection overruled.
That's all we had.
Further questions?
Very briefly on it, Detective, it was raining that night, wasn't it?
It started to rain.
Okay, this is defense. Questioning her again. This is the defense. Questioning her again. Listen to what they asked y'all.
Where we did our interview.
Can you put up that photo of those shorts and shirt that we saw a minute ago? What's that? Waiting for it. Signal. Mercy. Oh, here it is. So these are the clothes that you saw him wearing, sitting in the car?
Correct.
And it's your testimony, those clothing, those clothes look like they're freshly washed?
He's sweating and they're dry, so I would say yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You may step down. We call your next witness.
Delilah Cericione.
Now, this lady's last name, I'm gonna put it in my title, but I got let me see what's this time stamp. 239. So, but I will bring up an image. Give me a minute. Okay, Trey, are you available to speak for a second while I pull this image up? I ain't even put the other lady's image up. Trey? I guess not. All right, I'm gonna try to do this, y'all. Give me y'all. Here we go. I'm gonna let y'all listen while I try to pull this image up. Good morning, Lisby. Good to see you. We just gonna call her Delilah, honey.
Take a seat and witness stand. State your name again for the record.
I'm gonna mute for just a second, y'all, while I pull her image up. Okay, here she is, y'all. Here we go.
Spell your last name.
Delilah Cericione, Cirencione.
Good afternoon, Agent Cericione.
Good afternoon.
Could you tell the jurors where you work?
I work for the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division, or SLED. I'm currently in the Behavioral Science Unit, but was formerly in the Crime Scene Unit.
Tell me that the mic cannot be turned up more and it cannot be moved. It's fixed.
Is that better, sir?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank Your Honor. From what time or what dates were you working in the slave crime scene unit?
I was with SLED Crime Scene from 2017 until
Hey,
2022.
Miss Virginia.
So on June 7th of 2021, you were working with slave crime scene?
Somebody drop Miss Virginia's link if I have a mod available. I think Miss Virginia got something scheduled for later today. So y'all make sure y'all hit that link and go over there and check out Miss Virginia. Thank you all.
Yes, ma'am, I was.
And did you have an occasion to be involved in the investigation of Alec Murdaugh?
I did.
And what was your involvement in that investigation?
On June 8th, I was requested by my Lieutenant Todd Shank to respond to the Carlton Medical Center to collect buccal swabs or DNA swabs from 2
You're
victims.
welcome.
And can you tell the jurors what is a buccal swab?
A buccal swab is just a DNA swab, so it's a sterile Q-tip about this size, kind of like a Q-tip you use for your ear, and you swab the inside of the victim's cheeks for a DNA standard.
Do you just take one swab?
It comes in a set
Good morning,
of 2
Ms.
swabs
Kay.
within one container, so 2 swabs for each victim.
So you rub the inside of the person's cheek with that swab,
Yes, ma'am.
and then what do you do with the swabs?
Then it's placed back inside the sterile container and it's put into a coin envelope where it's sealed, dated, and initialed, and the time of the collection is written on the envelope.
And it is sealed and dated and initialed to ensure that it is not tampered with. Would that be correct?
That is correct.
And if someone else analyzes or manipulates that swab, they should note that on the packaging.
I'm not sure how it goes after it's out of my control, but I chained all that over to
Good morning,
Lieutenant Todd Shank once I
Kimaj.
went back to the SLED forensic laboratory.
So where did you turn those buccal swabs in?
After I left the medical center, I went back to SLED to the forensic laboratory and did a chain of custody with my lieutenant, and it was then in his custody.
And going back, just to be clear, who did you collect buccal swabs from?
1 female victim, Margaret, and 1 male victim, Paul Murdaugh.
Thank you, come correct.
Court's indulgence, Your Honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's stand for a moment.
We're taking a brief recess, y'all, for some reason.
Okay. Proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. since y'all know, going to show you
Good morning,
these,
man. Thanks for
evidence
joining.
baggies from SLED. Can you take a look at that? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Do those appear to be the buccal swabs that you collected from Paul and Maggie Murdaugh?
They are.
And how do you know that?
Both of these have my initials, the date, and a description on them, and they're sealed with my initials and the date.
And looking at those, can you tell if anyone else?
Yes, ma'am. There's additional lab number and item number and 2 other initials on them.
So once you collected those, it would appear that someone from the lab performed analysis on those swabs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right.
At this time, I would offer State's Exhibit 102 and 202 for identification purposes only as State's Exhibit 202, 201, excuse me, being buccal swab of Paul Murdaugh, and 202 being buccal swab for Margaret Murdaugh. And Margaret would actually move to intervene in that.
Hey, Scott, welcome back. We did miss you, sweetie. Welcome back.
Entered into evidence as those exhibit numbers.
Agent Srencion, did you do anything else in regards to this case?
Yes, ma'am. Once I cleared from the Carlton Medical Center collecting the buccal swabs, I was requested by Captain Ryan Neal with the SLED Low Country region to respond to the initial scene of the crime scene and collect a cell phone that was collected by their agents by a chain of custody.
And whose cell phone did you collect from Ryan Neal? Do you know?
I'm not aware of whose cell phone it was. It was a iPhone cell phone with a clear case.
And what did you do with that cell phone when you collected it?
The cell phone was collected by a chain of custody with Captain Ryan Neal, and then it was placed in a brown paper bag, sealed, and transported back to the SLED Forensic Laboratory, where it was chained over to Lieutenant Todd Shank.
No further. Agents Richard, I'm going to show you State's Exhibits 203 and 205.
They need to get it together, man. This is just sad. Ha, ha.
No, yeah, it's been marked for identification.
Agent Srinivasan, this is case exhibit 204, which is the cell phone, along with a paper bag here. Can you tell that's the paper bag that you collected, this cell phone, and put that cell phone in that paper bag?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
And how can you tell that?
It's got my handwriting on it with my initials and the date and a description of the cell phone.
This time, this tape would offer case exhibit 204 into evidence.
Yes, for identification, objection coming into evidence.
It'll be marked for identification, those two exhibits.
That's not the phone, those are the chain. Is that the phone or is that the chain of evidence?
Case exhibit 204 is the cell phone.
Marked for identification, Your Honor. We have no objection to
Two
being
marked
marked.
for identification.
And Agent Srinivasan, if you could take a look at case exhibits 205 and 203 and tell us what those appear to be.
Both of these are chains of custody from myself to my lieutenant at the time, and from Captain Ryan Neal to myself, and then from myself to Todd Schenk. They're both for the cell phone as well as the buccal swabs.
So those forms show where you collected or received the buccal swabs and the cell phone, is that right?
They're chain of custody, yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Nothing further at this time, Your Honor.
Yes.
Ma'am, what is it you do for SLED? I mean, I understand you receive things, you take buccal swabs, but are you do you transport things or do you have another role?
This is Dick, y'all. This is Dick. Cross-examining.
I'm currently a special agent with the behavioral science unit.
Okay. At this time, in June of 2021, what were you doing?
In June of 2021, I was a agent with the crime scene unit. So with the crime scene unit.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
You help process crime scenes.
Yes, sir. I respond to the state and process crime scenes, collect evidence, document evidence, write reports, and so on, and testify in court proceedings.
And did you do any crime scene processing other than receiving these items in this case?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. So, what happened to, where's that cell phone?
All exhibits, once they've been marked for identification, they remain with the court reporters.
So, and yes, you received this cell phone. They didn't tell you it was Maggie Murdaugh's phone, did they?
No, sir.
But you received this cell phone on the morning of what? When?
It was June 8th.
June 8th, the morning after the murders.
Yes, sir. It was June 8th, 2021.
And where was the agent that gave this to you? Where did he meet you?
The initial crime scene.
Okay, at the house, by the dog pens, where?
In
Shout out to Scott. Thank you, Scott, for supporting the channel. I appreciate it, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Y'all hit that like button. Feel free to support the channel. Thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. 35 in the building. Let me see. I think my likes were liking the last time I checked. So thank y'all. I appreciate it. Thank you,
in the
McGraw.
yard near the kennels and,
Okay.
yes, sir.
And when you received it, was it on or off?
I don't recall.
Okay. Are you aware that cell phones can continue to receive information or erase memory after their, I mean, at any point, but specifically when you're trying to preserve evidence
Do you know whether to turn it off or leave it on? Anybody instruct you on that?
I'm not an expert with the cell phone,
Thank
so
you,
I'm not sure,
Eden.
sir.
Okay. Secondly, do you know what a Faraday bag is?
No, sir.
Okay, a Faraday bag, for your edification, is something you put an electronic device in so that no one can access it. It can't receive new data.
Objection, Your Honor. Is there a question?
It doesn't get into it. And it can't erase data. Did you know that?
No, sir.
You're in the crime scene. Have you ever recovered phones before?
Yes, we recover cell phones, but they're typically collected directly by computer crimes or the regional agents.
Okay, so in this instance, though, they were not done the normal way, is what you're saying, the usual way. They gave it to you.
This way, it was just directly transferred to myself so I could bring it back to the SLED lab.
And no one cautioned you about putting it in a Faraday bag or not turning it off.
Not that day, no, sir.
So would that have been, and who gave it to you, agent?
Captain Ryan Neal with SLED Low Country.
Okay. And he just handed it to you, and you put it in a brown paper bag, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you don't know whether it was on or off.
I don't recall.
And there's a passcode, in this bag with it. Do you know where that came from?
I
Thank
wrote
you,
the
April.
passcode that I was given on
Thank
the
you,
brown paper
Lisby.
bag.
Okay, and then if somebody else wrote it on this piece of paper?
I did not write it on that piece of paper.
Okay, just to be clear, you were not asked to handle this cell phone any different than if you've been given a can of pork and beans to put it in, right? Is that right?
It depends if the pork and beans were evidence, but
Well, assume it's a can of pork and beans and it's a piece of evidence and they want you to transport it. Did they give you any special instructions about the cell phone as opposed to a can of pork and beans?
no, sir. The cell phone was collected using gloves and directly placed into the brown paper bag, sealed, initials dated, a description was written, and it was transported straight to the forensic lab for
And
processing.
you don't know whether it was open, whether it had been shut down or was still on?
Not to my knowledge, no, sir.
Can I put this back in the paper bag? I don't drop it again?
Sure.
I think it's $14 for a moment.
Lisby, thank you for sharing my live, sweetie. Thank you.
Redirect.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. You may step down.
Okay, they're done with her.
You may
Let me
call
see
your
how
next witness.
much longer we got. We got about 15 minutes, so I am gonna let the next person come, well, not let the next person come up like I'm in the courtroom. We're gonna listen to the next person for maybe 15 minutes. I don't know how long her testimony is gonna last, but I'm gonna pull her image up next, okay, y'all? So they have dismissed her and they're bringing up the next witness. Let's listen.
Do you have
No, it's
another?
not my birthday, Miss Virginia. It's my mama's birthday, girl. Go check her out. She's on my community wall. It's my mama's birthday. What we doing to celebrate, mom? Girl, listen. I gotta get off of here in like 15, no more than 30 minutes, and the celebrations will start. As far as what we're doing on here, I'll be back tonight. We'll celebrate it tonight when I come back. But I gotta get off here because the celebration starts in about 3 hours for us here. Okay. No need to take me to. Oh, thank you, Lisby. I appreciate it, girl. You know I got you.
Witness available at this time?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You may approach.
We're having to get started, Your Honor.
Melinda Corley.
Okay, Brooks.
Raise your right hand and left hand. Do you affirm the testimony about to the court in this trial shall be the truth and nothing but the truth? Won't you take a seat in the witness stand? State your name again for the record. Spell your last name.
Melinda Worley, W-O-R.
Okay, this is Melinda Worley, y'all, and I'm about to pull her image up. Give me just a second. Oh, you know it's gonna be devil eggs come correct. I got you, e-books. Okay, y'all, this is Miss Worley. Well, detective. I think she's a detective Worley. So this is her, and she's about to start testifying, okay? I was on mute, Lisby. I'm back. That's Miss Detective Worley. She's the one testifying now, y'all.
R-L-E-Y.
Good afternoon, Agent Worley.
Good afternoon.
Could you tell the jurors where you work?
Can y'all hear me now? I was on mute. Can y'all hear me now? Let me know right quick. You hear me now? Okay, good.
For SLED.
And how long have you worked for SLED?
Since August of 2011.
And what is your current position at SLED?
I'm currently a senior criminalist in the latent print unit of the Forensic Services Lab.
Can you tell the jury a little bit
Thank
about your education and training and other experiences at SLED that have led you to this point?
I have a Bachelor's of Science degree in anthropology from the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga, a Bachelor of Science degree in Forensic Science from Mercyhurst College, a Master's of Science in Forensic Science from the University of Florida. And along with the master's degree, I also received a graduate certificate in forensic death investigation. I started at SLED in 2011 in the crime scene unit as a special agent. I followed through the training program that SLED provides in-house. I finished that, I believe it was July of 2012. And at that point, I was able to take cases as a crime scene agent. But shortly thereafter, I also started training in the discipline of footwear and tire thread examination. I finished that training in March of 2014. And so then I was doing crime scene and footwear and tire cases until August of 2022. I transferred out of the crime scene unit to the latent print unit. I also switched from being a class 1 law enforcement officer, I was a senior special agent, to a class 3 law enforcement officer. So now I'm a senior criminalist and a footwear and tire examiner.
And so, I mean, as far as crime scene goes, can you tell us about any special training that you have pertaining to crime scene specifically?
I've taken several courses in bloodstain pattern analysis, shooting reconstruction, archaeology, forensic archaeology, and clandestine graves, photography.
And back in 2021, you were a crime scene investigator, is that correct?
That's correct.
And now you are in the footwear and tire examination, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and what would be the appropriate title for that?
Footwear and tire examiner.
Okay. And what other additional qualifications do you have to examine?
Hold on, y'all. So she gonna talk about the footprints and the tires. Mad, pass it. Don't do that. Don't act shady. Pass it, Mad. Pass it. I'ma need it. I'm needed today, honey. Pass it, Mad.
And footwear and tire impressions.
I've taken 2 40-hour courses related to footwear, and I've completed approximately 50 footwear cases since I was completed my training in 2014. I've testified as an expert witness 9 times, qualified.
Is that in state court?
Yes, ma'am.
And you said, about how many, I guess, cases have you had where you have examined, footwear and tire impressions? If you could give us an estimate here.
As far as the actual scenes I've worked with that had footwear or just in general footwear?
In general.
I think it's around 50 cases.
Your Honor, this time I would move to qualify Investigator Whirley as an expert in footwear and tire examination.
Says the defense.
No objection, Your Honor. She's obviously qualified.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, where a witness, by virtue of their education and experience, become what the court considers an expert in some field, that witness can give opinions where lay witnesses typically cannot. And this witness has been qualified and now is accepted as an expert witness in the field of the footwear examination and what else?
Tire impressions, Your Honor.
And tire impressions. And you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So Agent Whirley, back in June of 2021,
Gotcha, man. Appreciate you.
I was in the crime scene unit.
as a crime scene investigator.
That's right.
And can you tell us just some of the general procedures of a crime scene investigator who responds to a crime scene?
Sure. We are requested to respond to crime scenes anywhere in the state. When the sheriff's office or police department requests our assistance with a crime scene, we document the scene with photographs and draw sketches, take measurements. We collect evidence, document it, collect it, package it appropriately, maintain chain of custody.
Is there any special kind of protocol that y'all follow?
We do have a protocol manual, yes.
Okay. Do you ever wear any type of gowns or coverings or anything like that out to a crime scene?
We always wear gloves, no matter what. Depends on the scene, I guess, as far as if we're going to wear any booties or anything else.
Okay. Would it be normal protocol to wear booties to an outdoor crime scene?
Not the way we've operated now.
Why not?
It's not usually, not usually necessary, I guess, as far as watching where you're stepping and not stepping in blood or any tire or footwear impressions or anything. We just don't normally wear booties.
And when you're at a crime scene,
So man done talked about the lady lips, and man, she got lips. It's just the image that I man done talked about the lady lips. Liz be talking about the lady voice. Will y'all leave that woman alone? She is moving on.
are you looking for microscopic evidence?
Well, we don't carry microscopes, other than swabbing items at a scene. We would collect potential evidence that way by swabbing it.
All right, let's move on to your involvement in this case. Did you have the occasion to respond to Moselle Road on June 7th?
I did.
Okay. What time did you respond out there?
I believe we arrived around 12:07 a.m.
Okay. And are you aware of what time this the crime occurred?
I'm not sure about the time it occurred. I know the time I was notified.
Okay, what time was that?
We were notified around 10:33 p.m.
So it took you roughly 2 hours to get out to the crime scene. Why was that?
We respond from Columbia.
All right. So what did you see when you got out there?
The scene entailed the area where the kennels were located. There was a large workshop with an overhang on between the workshop and where the dog kennels were. There was a sort of gravel path, driveway between the kennels and that overhang.
Miss Gloria. So now you gonna get in on the shenanigans. Hey, James. Miss Gloria. I can't do nothing with you people. I can't do nothing with you people.
The sheriff's office had brought out a canopy to cover Maggie's body to protect her from the rain.
And what were the weather conditions?
It was raining lightly.
What is one of the first things you did when you got out there?
We met with David Owen, Special Agent David Owen, and regional agents to kind of get a little more information about what the scene entailed. And we did a little initial walkthrough to see the sheriff's office had marked some potential evidence. So we walked around to see what was what and see if we could find any additional evidence before we started taking photographs.
Do you recall collecting a shotgun from Agent Daniel Green, or excuse me, Officer or Sergeant Daniel Green?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And how did that occur?
He had maintained custody of a shotgun and needed to transfer it to me. So he brought it over to my truck and we put it in a gun box. We took photographs of it and rendered it safe.
Was that gun loaded or unloaded when you took custody of it?
It was loaded.
And did you unload that weapon?
I did.
And why would you do that?
We always render a firearm safe before we transport it.
Y'all crazy. All y'all crazy.
Agent Corley, I'm going to show you what's already been entered as Tate's Exhibit 4, along with the rifle, or excuse me, shotgun that was collected. Could you tell us what you have there?
One of the 2 shot shells that were in the shotgun.
And that's a shot shell that you unloaded from this gun?
That's right.
And what gauge is that?
This one is 16 gauge.
Hey, Bayou, cooking dinner. Okay.
And
Have a good day at work.
the correct caliber for that gun is a 12 gauge?
That's right.
Since Daniel Green collected that gun, did you take a buccal swab from him?
We did, yes.
Why would you do that?
In case his DNA was on the firearm, we would need to eliminate him or know that was his.
Okay.
Agent Worley, this is Tate's Exhibit 249. Does that appear to be the buccal swab you collected from Daniel Green?
Yes, it is.
And how can you tell?
It has my handwriting, my initials. The seal tape has my initials with my handwriting for the date.
This time the state would offer Tate's Exhibit 249 into evidence.
Okay.
Submitted without objection.
The lawyers are talking, y'all. Ooh.
Mr. Worley, if you can take a look at State's Exhibit 17. Do you recognize what is in that picture?
I do.
Is that a true and accurate representation?
It is.
This time I'll move State's Exhibit 17 into evidence.
Identify what it is before we do that. I mean, no objection, no objection, no objection.
What is it?
It's the shotgun that I took custody of, and the 12 gauge and the 16 gauge shot shells that I removed from the shotgun.
Submitted without objection.
And if you could, for the jury, could you tell us which shells we're looking at here?
The one on the left is the 12 gauge, and the one on the right is 16 gauge.
And those are the shells you unloaded from that gun?
They are.
And you described the crime scene. If you could, State's Exhibit 22 has previously been entered. Could you describe that to the jury?
That's the large overhang on the side of the workshop, the doghouse that's just outside that overhang, and the man-use bodies lying there underneath that canopy. The kennels are in the background.
How did you discover Paul's body or observe Paul's body?
He was, when we arrived, he was still covered with a pink sheet, but we could tell he was lying face down, just outside the feed room.
And can you, how did you process the area around? Yeah.
And we start with documenting the area with photographs, photographing the evidence that the sheriff's office had already marked, do overall mid-range and close-up of each item of evidence, photograph the victims as they were when we arrived, before the sheets were moved or anything.
Thank you, Bayou. Is it? Happy early birthday. Thank you. Happy early birthday, sweetie.
Does this picture show how you found Paul's body?
After we documented him with the sheet over him and the coroner removed the sheet, yes, that is what it looked like.
And he appears to be laying outside of a feed room.
That's correct.
Did you process that feed room?
After he was removed from the area, we went in the room to process the room.
And if you look at that picture there, it appears that there's something laying on the back of the shorts there.
Yes, that's right.
And what was that?
I was told it was his cell phone.
State's Exhibit 25. Do you recognize that picture?
Yes,
And what is that?
that is the cell phone on the back of his shorts.
This time the state removes State's Exhibit 25 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted.
And this is the cell phone that was laying on top of Paul's body.
That's right.
Now, did y'all process the inside of the feed room?
We did.
Whenever it goes silent like that, y'all, it's them talking amongst themselves. And of course, we can't hear them. So, yeah. Thank you, Trey. Y'all hit that Cash App, support the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Thank you.
Agent Worley, I'm going to ask you to take a look. It takes exhibits 26, 27, 28, 30.
Y'all hit that link and subscribe to Trey's backup channel.
$31, $32, $35, $198, $199, $38, $39, $40, $42, $43, $44, and $45, please. Agent Worley, in general, what are those pictures of?
They're all taken inside the feed room. A lot of them are footwear impressions.
And are those true and accurate representations of the feed room as it was the night of the murders on June 7th?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, at this time, I would offer those exhibits into evidence.
They're discussing the evidence, honey.
Okay.
Exhibit numbers again.
Your Honor, that takes exhibits 27, 26, 30, 28, 31, 35, 32, 198, 199, 38,
I can't handle the truth.
39, 40, 42, 43, 44, and 45.
They're admitted without objection.
Agent Worley, this is State's Exhibit 27. If you could tell the jurors what they're looking at in this picture.
That's a view looking from the door into the feed room.
And what can we see on the floor there?
There's marker 1 is the shot shell wad. There's also suspected blood and tissue, possible pieces of skull on the floor.
And then looking back at that window.
There were several bullet defects in the window in the glass.
And State's Exhibit 26.
That's showing the feed room also. It's showing more of the door, the outside of the door.
And if you notice the top of the door, what can you see up there?
It looks like blood, and there's also hair on top of the door.
State's Exhibit 30.
That's behind the door to the feed room.
Okay, and what's back there?
There were two 12-gauge shot shells on the fire shot shells on the floor behind the door, and also there was hair behind the door.
Hey, Scorpio.
State's Exhibit 31.
And that was after we marked the two fired shot shells as markers 9 and 10, and also showing them the shot shell wad at marker 1 in the same photo.
And State's Exhibit 26.
And that's close-up of the shot shell wad at marker 1, and there's also a partial footwear impression in blood.
And do we see some little round pellets there?
Yes, there were pellets on the floor.
.32.
And that's a close-up of the shot shells at 9 and 10.
Were those shot shells collected?
Yes, they were.
Agent Worley, when those shot shells were collected, what did you do with them?
We photographed them first before we pick them up. We packaged them, write the information on the packaging as to what it is, where it came from at marker 9 and 10, date and initial and time it was collected.
And were they submitted to the lab and placed in these big plastic bags?
I transferred them to crime scene lieutenant.
I'll ask you to take a look at these for me.
Yes.
Do those appear to contain item 1 and items 9 and 10,
Yes,
and also some other items that were collected?
yes. Wait, open them.
This time I will have Agent Corley open the bag and remove items 1 and items 9 and 10.
Is she cutting it open? They're looking at evidence, y'all. If y'all can understand what they're saying.
All right, so, item 1 is what?
That is the shot shell wad that was at marker 1.
And, how do you know that is the shot shell wad that you collected?
It's my handwriting on the box, my initials on the seal, on the tape.
And then, item 9 and item 10?
And these are the two shot shells, fired shot shells at markers 9 and 10. This one is the one at marker 9, it's 12 gauge federal, and one at marker 10 was, I believe Winchester 12 gauge.
Oh Lord, I ain't never seen a bunch. Okay, y'all. I'm just gonna let it play. I ain't gonna rant right now because we got maybe 10 more minutes. But these lawyers, I cannot.
Move items 29, the shot, I guess the shot shell wad, and item 34, the 12 gauge federal, and item 33, 12 gauge Winchester into evidence.
Okay.
Without objection.
All right, also in that feed room, we were looking at what appeared to be some bloody footprints. Is that right, Agent Corley?
That's right.
You can see those footprints here in State's Exhibit 27.
You can see them.
About State's Exhibit 35 here.
Yes, there are two right there at marker 1.
So right down in here.
Yes.
All right. So in your training and experience as a footwear examiner, did you have occasion to examine those footprints?
I did.
And did you have some shoes to compare those footprints to?
Yes, I took custody of the shoes that Paul was wearing when I attended his autopsy. I was able to compare those to the footwear impressions in the feed room.
And now how do you do that?
We make test impressions of the shoes after they've been photographed with ink on the bottom of the shoe. I have someone similar who wears the same size, usually wears the shoe and steps on a piece of cardstock paper. We make as many test impressions as we need to make sure I've gotten all the area of the bottom of the shoe. Then I reprint those test impressions on transparencies. It makes it easier to overlay those on top of the photographs of the unknown impressions at the crime scene. And I compare the unknown impressions from the crime scene to the overlays that I place of Paul's shoes.
So you make a transparent overlay and you place it on pictures to determine if they correspond.
That's right.
State's Exhibit 148. What is that?
And that is a printed version of the test impressions that we created of Paul's shoes.
And State's Exhibit 199.
That one is the right shoe. The first one was the left shoe.
And there are, I guess, 2 impressions of each shoe there.
That's right.
All right, so using the impressions you made in the photographs, did you make any determinations?
I determined they were corresponding consistent with the outsole design of Paul's shoes.
We'll look a little closer here at State's Exhibit 38. I'm sorry, there appears to be some kind of shadow here on the Elmo. State's 138, is that a picture that you used from the crime scene to compare to Paul's shoes?
It is.
And what did you determine regarding that?
That one was also consistent with the outsole design of Paul's shoes.
State's Exhibit 39.
Both of those were same outsole design as Paul's shoes.
And we'll go back to State's Exhibit 40. And if you're standing in the feed room, what position are those shoes facing?
Those are facing the window. Right.
Did you also notice the door of that feed room?
I did.
What about the door?
There was a lot of, I guess, blood, brain matter on the outside of the door, not so much on the inside, interior side of the door. There's a little bit at the very top, and hair on top of the door, but not on the rest of the back of the door.
So State's Exhibit 42 here. What can we see?
That's a picture of the exterior side of the door. You can see the blood toward the top of the door.
So that would be like the front of the door.
Right.
And State's Exhibit 43.
And that's also the front of the door.
Okay. And we can see some blood spatter up here in the corner.
Yes,
Would that be right?
that's right.
And then it appears to be hair as well.
Yes, that's right.
And we mentioned the defects in the window. State's Exhibit 44 here.
Yes,
What can we see there? Can you see a hole in that window?
yes,
And State's Exhibit 45.
yes, you can see one of the defects.
Okay. And do you recall how many defects were in the window?
6, I believe.
Oh, God.
Later, did you have an occasion to go back out to the scene and re-examine that window?
I did.
At that time, can you tell us what you did when you examined the window?
We went to further document, take more measurements of the area. We scaled the defects and took several more measurements of where those defects were in the window.
I'm going to show you State Exhibits 114 and 115. Do you recognize those images?
I do.
What is that?
These are diagrams of the window that I created. One shows the interior side of the window and one shows the exterior side. Shows where the defects are located in the window and all the measurements that we took for each defect.
Your Honor, this time I move States 114 and 115 into evidence.
Granted without objection.
Permission to publish. We're looking here at States 114.
Okay, y'all, I have to stop it. I was trying to find a good stopping point, but let me take a screenshot of this timestamp because we're gonna continue. Because I don't know what it is. I pause this and I leave it up, but every time I come back to it, it always jumps.
Do I have that in the correct orientation, Agent Worley?
Yes.
Hold on, y'all. I touched the screen. Hold on. All right, so listen. We're going to stop right here for right now. Oh, I can't even read that. Okay, I got to get out. People texting me. I got to get ready. I got to go. Basically, I'm sort of kind of ready, but I got to do some things. But listen, thank y'all for joining today. I appreciate it. I apologize for having to be such a rush job, but I did want to get this in just because I was off for like 2 days last week. But I do have to get up and get going and get out. So with that being said, I appreciate y'all joining me today. Thank y'all for being interested in this commentary. Thank y'all for hashtag supporting the hashtag content that matters. I appreciate it. You want to say something, Trey?
Good job, social activist truth. Good job.
You so messy. Oh yeah, it's a jury trial, can the truth. Absolutely. It's a jury trial. So I have to get off, but listen, thank y'all so much for supporting this live. I appreciate it. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the monetary contributions. I appreciate it. Thanks for the birthday wishes for my mom. I am going now to enjoy my family, y'all. I will be back later on tonight. All right. In between time, listen, I'm sure some of us will be going live. Y'all make sure y'all check out my community wall. I will be supporting from the bushes, like Rhino Rainer's going live at 6 with the 227. Miss Virginia's going live in a couple of hours. Yeah, y'all just support. Okay, support the positive, please. If you can support the negative, please support the positive. With that being said, thank you, Scorpio. Just have a blessed day. Thank you, Sirius. Thank you, I will, girl. It is a blessing. Today's a beautiful day. I'm so excited. I'm going to see my mom and my daughters and my daddy and my brother. We just gonna have a good old time, y'all. So, y'all, listen, y'all have a beautiful day as well, okay? Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stress. I will see y'all later on these streets. I will be supporting from the bushes. Like I said, I will drop in and let, the fam bam know that I'm there. But I won't be, engaging like that. Cause see, my mama be want to take my phones and shit. Like she really be want all attention on her. Y'all, she is such a pampered princess. Well, she's a queen, but she's pampered very. And, she's a diva. Okay. Thank you, Miss K. Anyway, I'm gonna get over here, y'all. I love y'all. Y'all be safe, be blessed, never stress. And I'll see y'all later on. Okay, y'all be good out here in these streets. Be good out here in these streets. Thank you, Trey, for joining. I appreciate it. Give baby Petty a kiss for me, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, y'all have a good one.
Bye.